So, as we've learned in the new science of astrology, Aquarius governs over numbers as well as gadgetry, electronics. It's a human, the sign of humanity, the person carrying the water up. So, in this case, for the shaft and the drinking. But also, Aquarius, the age of Aquarius represents these machines getting power, okay? And so, this is why, even the infiltrators into the disclosure movement say that the AI is the dark side, even blame it all on that, but it's not really accurate. Of course, the AI, the computers, the machines are tools that, just like money or cannabis, can be used both to increase harm and to control and distort and cause cancer and to heal those things. So, understanding this, it has been said by astrologers that in the age of Aquarius, which we're entering now, the great danger, which is really blatantly obvious, is that these machines can be so powerful that they can destroy us or the world. And so, look what happened in the year 2020 and up to between now and then. So, we have these self-replicating tiny machines and graphene dioxide metals growing colonies through, the dark side has forced through coercion as much as they could. So this is what we're going to have to deal with, the invention of the human 2.0 through the use of the luciferase and the graphene dioxide needle tech. This all started with metallurgy, and now it's led to technology. So this has increased the power of metal. So, one note I didn't put on the previous video: if there's no such thing as etheric space, there's no room for listening to God, the voice of the Creator. There's no room for healing, or space for healing, or resting, or creating, or sex. And many skin or physical and mental and internal diseases cannot really heal without etheric space. So all the way in just 500 years, it's really unbelievable unless you consider the theory or the conspiracy theory of negative aliens helping us, that we could have gone from making swords to nanotech in just hundreds of years, right? So we really have to look at the power of the AI and Wi-Fi and how, cancerous, as I said in my previous video a few days ago, forced microwaves, how cancerous cell phone cyborg prison planet actually is, and what can we do to alleviate these states of psychological and invisible metal bars around us that exist, that are actually metal that we can't see because they exist in the ethers and inside of our bodies. Well, as I say, we can try to take, the Buckyballs C60 fullerene supplements to get it out. We can live in clean etheric space as much as possible, or exist in it, and realize that if ether is in clean space or clean energy space, it is essential for mental, physical, and spiritual freedom. Because otherwise, unless you're the greatest meditator on the planet, you're going to be bombarded with these frequencies of war and pestilence and psychic, anxiety, anxiety attacks. It's not going to end, especially if you live in a city, right? So, utilizing metal expediates, or the sixth element of metal, which is so prevalent around us now, right? Especially if you're a bicyclist like me. Utilizing metal expediates your relationship to truth, awareness, like all the stuff I've learned on the computer. You learn much faster through the communicating through Tesla's inventions with the etheric space and metal, through using metals and ethers, the fifth and sixth elements. We rapidly expedite our learning process, the size of our brains, but the danger of actually becoming like the gray reptilians, like a species with huge brains and telepathic abilities with no ability to physically have sex or have a heart. We run the risk. The more we obey their plans, the more we run the risk of becoming that way. It's really obvious if you look at it. So don't do it if you love yourself, right? So and also look at the metals, the element of metals relationship to transportation, not only learning and truth, but transportation, storage. Um, but remember, rain or oceans transport metals, and they can and will dissolve metals. So this is why when you think about mind control, okay, the scientism death cult and the inverted, crazy, woke, Luciferic dialogues, always their mind control dogma, ideology always involves weaponizing narratives. First, they're going to try to make you the robot slave, human 2.0, and then control you by weaponizing your emotions, by giving you false emotions through the victimizer programming is what it's called. Through their modern forms of victimizer victim programming. So the whole thing becomes about a false issue, like trans rights. It becomes about an issue that's basically not important compared to what this dogma or this belief is taking away from you, which is your freedom of thought, and your emotional peace, right? So they're weaponizing your emotions through inserting these ideas, because ideas are a part of your etheric space, right? So they're trying to make you it's so ironic, right? They're trying to make you a robot and make you an emotional basket case off false issues, okay? This is how insane the Luciferians and negative aliens, and this is how crazy they are, okay? This is their modern idea. This is why they're losing. Their modern mind control is not as good as Motown lyrics, okay? So realizing that this is key to, again, tolerate, to make sure that you moderate your relationship with metal as well, or especially if they're cancerous metals. The ocean can turn all metal to rust in no time. Just remember, so your emotions can rust the solid relationship you have to the ether. So if you allow that to happen. So in the inversion, negative aliens and the socialist Zionist Nazis, I call them, they weaponize your emotions to dissolve all the competent, steel strong mental, moral structures, such as respect yourself and others. And they flip the script so flip the script to discover the solid, objective, moral reality, okay, within, because these bodies are made of water. If you haven't seen it before, Dr. Emoto's work. He froze molecules and put a piece of masking tape with either a positive or negative words on it. The more beautiful the words they were, they formed really beautiful crystals after freezing. So the negative, it was chaotic. So being that we're somewhat 70% water, we program, the ethers, the cancers in our cells are really influenced, and herpes, for example, both those illnesses are completely influenced by the quality of our thoughts through the etheric space itself. Reclaiming your rights to access pure ethers and the healthy usage of metal is essential to healing and accessing multidimensional 5D awareness. For example, some people think that not having a cell phone means I'm not going to be able to become a professional healer or YouTuber, but if you think outside the box, I could get a Skype, or Elena Freeland is making her whole career with just a laptop, and she said we should all just get rid of our computers and use laptops. And I agree. And so, wow, what an exciting time to be alive, and also what a it's the most exciting and one of the most dangerous, because but even more so in a way because the dangers are supposedly hidden, even though they're not. They're stuck in all the microwaves, most of them in the ethers that are bombarding you. And so, hey, try on your day off going out to the beach or to the forest and absorb these beautiful, clean ethers, even if they've got a little nanotech and frequency fixed fence crud in them. And do your best to create a great day if at all possible. Click on the subscribe button if you hadn't. And how about a thumbs up or any comments if anybody has anything to add to this discussion? I'd love to hear some words especially if they're positive. And make sure you click on the notification bell if you want more content out of the dome of Trey Smith. And create a great day, my family.